For a child has been born for us, a son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
We want to take a moment to express our deepest appreciation to each of you for your work over the past year in sharing the love of Jesus Christ, meeting human need, and being a transforming influence in your community and throughout the Ontario Division. Given all that we have experienced during this past year, the realities of the pandemic continue to impact our lives and our ministries. Yet, you have served with passion during some very difficult days. From places of pandemic exhaustion and frustration, you have responded to and navigated with us the evolving government announcements, public health guidelines, and organizational policies, so that together we might provide a safe place for the community ministry's residential programs and worship experiences offered by the Salvation Army. From a place of covenant service, professional employment, membership, and volunteerism, we have stood together, and it's been our privilege to serve with you despite the fear and uncertainty around us.
Every year we are challenged to look past the obvious Christmas scenes impressed upon us from our earliest days and discover the more significant meanings of this season. Within our faith tradition, it is right and proper to celebrate the gift of Jesus Christ to the world and the mission that would be his. Through the message of Christmas, we are invited to discover the highest values of what it means to be in community.
For example, take Mary. She encourages us to live with a purpose through active participation in a community and a world beyond ourselves. Her commitment reminds us of the power of one and the opportunity to impact change around us. Joseph reminds us that we are more than capable of making right decisions when faced with the moral and ethical dilemmas of life individually and nationally. Decisions that advance mutual respect, trust, and dignity through our connectedness with one another. While the shepherds and the wise men stand at opposite ends of the political, social, and academic spectrums of the day, through their participation in the unfolding story of God's grace, we are reminded of our oneness as the human family. Friends, Christmas reminds us that we can celebrate the diversity of community and stand in unity as we move forward toward the common hopes that we share.
Philip Brooks was well known as a preacher of excellence. In 1865, Brooks traveled to the Holy Lands. On December 24th, he made his way on horseback from Jerusalem to Bethlehem, where he attended a 5-hour Christmas musical celebration at the Church of the Nativity, just a short distance from the hillside where the shepherds heard the very first Christmas song. At Christmas time 3 years later, recalling that magical night in Bethlehem, Brooks wrote a song for the children's choir of his church. His organist put melody to his words, and on Christmas Eve, 1868, O Little Town of Bethlehem was sung for the very first time. Brooks paints an image. Yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
Many know the darkness of the pandemic, of injustice, poverty, and hopelessness. Yet that first Christmas reminds us that into a night sky and an empty manger, God declared his intention and fulfilled his promise of hope. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth.
This Christmas, May we be forever grateful for the grace we have received and the mission to which we have been called.
May we be inspired with an experience of faith that embraces the mystery of the Almighty God for who He is.
May we remain committed to the highest values of community that will strengthen us in the year to come.
So friends, have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas.